Hey everyone, I'm Pion and welcome to Battlerite. What is Battlerite, you ask? I like to call it a Skillshot based multiplayer hero brawler. It's the successor to Bloodline Champions. It left Steam Early Access a few weeks ago and went free to play in the process, and this is what it looks like. So in this game you play 2v2 or 3v3 and everyone plays a hero. And it's definitely a multiplayer online battle arena, but it's not a MOBA. There are no lanes, there are no creeps, there are no towers, no items, only heroes fighting each other to the death. And so it's a little bit like a MOBA reduced down to team fights only, but it plays a little different because you control your character with WASD, and the whole game is very Skillshot focused. So it plays a little different. A lot of people compare to WoW Arena. I never played that though, so I can't really comment on that. So in this match, I'm playing Blossom. I'm playing live here, so commentary might suck a little bit, or my gameplay might suck. We'll see, or both probably. So I'm playing a support hero called Blossom here. She's like a tree spirit, not a tree, a forest spirit or something along those lines. And playing support in this game is really fun because supports are not reduced to healing only. They usually can dish out a lot of damage as well, or be super useful in other capacities, like have utility spells and stuff like that. So support is pretty fun. You start the game by, well, getting transformed or, well, moved to the arena in some way, and you're starting on your mount, and then you ride out to face the enemies. And this guy is my melee here, Rook. He's a pretty tanky dude. Well, he's not that tanky. Characters in this game are not really tanky. They have all around the same HP. There are slight differences, but it's nothing huge usually. Oh, that was dumb. The bubble slowed down my projectile. Trying to heal him here. So my right click is a heal ability. My left click is throwing acorns at enemies, which is quite fun. They can be charged, or they charge automatically if I don't use them too often, which is the green dot next to my health bar. And if they are charged and I use them, they deal a lot of damage and slow down the enemies. And my Rook is actually taking a lot of damage here. Oh, well, we got two enemies already. Okay, this is going good. This is not a ranked match, it's a casual match, so matchmaking is a little sucky for those usually. So we're probably just a little outclassing the enemies here, which is good to demonstrate my hero there. So as I said, I'm throwing acorns with left click and I can heal with my right click. And then I have a big tree, which, did I use it in this fight? I think I used it, not sure if you noticed it. I have a tree I can place down, which will heal surrounding allies and block attacks and stuff like that. So the tree has an HP bar itself. Here, this is the tree. It can be destroyed, but as long as it's not destroyed, it will actually block things. Especially interesting if you're playing against the Rook, which is this guy, because he has this charge ability. And if you place a tree in front of you while he's trying to charge you, he will run his face into the tree, which is quite amusing. So my other ability is the E ability, which is the what's it called? Boom Bloom. Right, I throw this thing, this projectile, which will stun after a short delay. And I have a special trait select. I'm going to talk about those later. They're called Battlerites, which is the name of the game as well, which will recharge my acorn attack, so my regular left click attack, every time I hit an enemy like that. So usually what you want to do with Blossom is you want to hit enemies with your charge acorns. So every time your thingy, the circle next to your health bar becomes green, you want to use your left click usually. And if it's not green, you want to either that's dumb. What am I doing? Commentating and playing at the same time. Hard. So while it's not green, you want to charge it by either hitting enemies with your E like this, or healing your allies, obviously, which you do, as I said, with the right click or with the tree. And then you have two special abilities as well, which is the R, which is Gust, which will, like, you have a little bird on your head, and it can create a storm, which will blow enemies away from you, and will also turn around projectiles, so you can counter projectiles with it, which is quite effective. I'm really bad at using it, but it's really strong ability. So this one costs energy, however. You might notice the little second bar below the health bar, which just filled up a little bit. This is the energy bar. If I use a skill that requires energy, like the R, I will lose energy. So the R, the special ability, costs 25 energy, which is 1/4 of my max energy, 100. And yeah, that costs energy. If I don't have the energy, I can't use the skill. And then I have an ultimate on the F key, which is interesting. Some people might want to rebind this because they're used to have ultimates on R from MOBAs and stuff. I should probably try to heal my teammate here a little bit. Now Rook is going in. I don't like that too much, to be honest. Let's try to get some charged acorns off now. Okay, let's collect the orb. The orb is really important. Right, let's continue talking about my skills first. So the ultimate is a big charge thingy. I used it earlier. Not a charge thing, like, ooh, that hurt. You can basically, you shoot multiple projectiles. It costs all your energy, which makes it a quite big risk-reward thingy, because if you hit, that's amazing, but if you don't, you're kind of screwed, because you just wasted all your energy, which is nice. Okay, that was terrible. Besides those skills, heroes have 2 more skills, because you can press shift and get some X abilities. As you can see here, those abilities pop up. Those are different for every hero, so everyone has different X abilities. So you can activate them alternatively to your regular abilities. So if I press space, which is my escape skill, my jumping around thingy, I can press shift space, which will cost me 1 bar of energy or 25 energy, but it will use a different ability. It's still a jump in this case, but it's more of a dash, which deals damage and pushes enemies away. So it becomes an aggressive engaging tool instead of a disengage tool, which the space usually is. And the shift Q for a Blossom is really interesting, because basically usually your tree heals, but if you use the shift tree, it's still a tree, but it's purple. I'm gonna demonstrate, or I'm trying to get enough energy to demonstrate. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. So it's purple now, and instead of healing, it will prevent all damage, or it tanks the damage. So everyone who's in range of that tree will not take damage, and the damage will be redirected to the tree until the tree dies, obviously. Okay, so that's just an overview over one hero. There are, like, I think 20 something heroes. We'll count when we leave this match. Not sure right now, actually, but something along those lines. So very important in this game is the orb, the center orb, which will respawn every 25 seconds, I believe, something along those lines. And basically the team that kills it, or that last hits it rather, will gain, oops, that was bad. Now we just gave it to them, will gain a health buff and an energy buff. So the whole team. So the tree is, the orb is really important. Well, the tree is important as well, but that's a different thing entirely. That rook just 1v1 the other one and lost that, so that's not great. What you doing? What I'm doing? What am I doing? Okay, let's see if we can win this 2v3. Oh, that's an ultimate. Do I have a tree? Nope. I stole the orb. That was not well played by me, though. I just got lucky that the enemies didn't realize. Can I kill that Ashka, maybe? That would be great. Ashka's the little fire dude up there that just got stunned and not sniped in the face. That's unfortunate. Let's do this. Oh, that's not great, but I got him good. Okay, let's see if we can hit this guy as well. He got stunned as well. Nice. Take some acorns to the face. And... oh, that was not great. No, he did run out of the stun range, so that's unfortunate. Let's put down the tree. Then there are also those little orbs, which will give health and energy. And one thing is very, very different in this game, which is important if you're playing a support. Health or healing works a little special in this game. You might have noticed that his health bar just got way smaller. And that is because there is something in this game that's called max health and replenishable health. It's not called that, but that's basically what it is. So I'm just gonna call it that. Okay. No, I hit her counter. Well, he got her anyway. So a lot of heroes have counters, but let's stick to the health thing first. So basically every time you lose health, the health can be healed back, as usual in other games as well. But if you lose more than 40 health, then your max health will go down, and that health cannot be replenished by regular heals. So if you lose, let's say you start with 200 HP, you lose 40, you can heal back up to 200. If you lose 80, however, you can only heal back up to 160, and then that's your new max HP. Except for the orbs. The big orb in the center will replenish some of your max HP, and the small green ones will replenish some of your max HP as well while healing you. Okay, so let's take a look at the heroes. So well, let's talk about that really quick first. So that's actually a really interesting mechanic, because it allows healers to stay useful with while not making them absolutely mandatory, because you can just, like, if you can burst enemies down, then the healer will not be able to heal them back up. But if your ally is doing a clever, like, back and forth play while he's dancing in and out of combat and coming back to you, you can heal him back out quite effectively again. And that creates an interesting dynamic, because it makes that it means that focus in this game is actually very important, because you have to burst down enemies, or you don't have to kill them in that burst, but you have to reduce their max HP. That's the goal of every attack. If you just deal 20 or 30 or 40 damage, they will just run away, get healed back, and you didn't do anything, basically. So that's very important in this game, to focus fire on the same enemies and try to get the enemies in a bad spot where you can dish out a lot of damage in a short amount of time at them. And that's also why damage preventing abilities like shields or the Blossom's X tree, for example, are really, really strong or really important in this game if you use them correctly, because you prevent those bursts of damage and therefore keep up the max HP. So let's talk about the heroes. As you can see here, there are 8, 16, plus 7, 23 heroes, so it was pretty good with my guess. There are 3 categories: melee, ranged, and support. Melee doesn't mean tank. As I said earlier, they all have around the same max HP. Rook has a little more than Blossom, but it's not that much. I think it's like, can I look it up somewhere? I'm not sure. Abilities, does it say here somewhere? It doesn't seem to be the case, unfortunately. I think she has like 119, he has 230 or something along those lines. So they're pretty close. So melees, all the heroes play fairly differently, but usually melees go in close, obviously. Some of them have more CC ability, some just deal a lot of damage. They usually have some sort of engage, and a lot of them have some shield abilities and stuff like that. A lot of them have counter abilities. Counters in this game are really important. Let's just jump into another match, shall we? I should probably play something else there. Let's go with Ashka. So a lot of heroes have counters. If you hit a counter, something bad will happen. So the hero usually glows up for a short amount of time, and if you hit them during that duration, something terrible happens. For example, they become invulnerable in case of Rook, for example. Or I think this is Shifu, if I'm not completely mistaken. And Shifu's counter is, if I remember correctly, the thing where he basically teleports away and then appears behind you, which is quite annoying. So you don't want to hit those counters if possible. What is nice in this game is that the animations are really, really clear and really visual, at least as soon as you get used to them a little bit. So, for example, all the counters have the hero glow up quite obviously. So it's really, really obvious. They glow in different colors, but they all glow. So it's really easy to spot a counter. That doesn't mean it's easy to avoid it, but it's easy to see it, so or identify it if you see it. So that's good. And a lot of attacks have a pretty big, like telegraph themselves pretty obviously, especially the stronger ranged attacks. They usually telegraph really, really hard to make it easier to dodge them, so it's not super unfair. While the smaller attacks usually don't telegraph as badly. Also, you can cancel all your animations, or almost all your animations. So there's a dedicated button. Default is C, but you can rebind that. I rebound this to my mouse. Ooh, this is terrible. Oh, this is amazing though. Okay, that was good. So you can cancel an ability. So I can attempt to cast a spell and then cancel it, as you could see there. So I can do it again. There we go. Didn't actually go off. And if you do that, that has multiple effects. I have to dodge that really quick. The spell will only be on 1 second cooldown, so that's great. And that's not gonna work out well. 1v3. Fear. Nope. And B, the enemies might waste something like a counter on your baited spell, basically. So canceling this game is really, really important on higher levels of play. I'm not really good at it, which is why I'm stuck at the lower levels. Yeah, so let's demonstrate again. I can do this and then cancel it. Or, like, this is my right click. It usually shoots 3 projectiles, as you can see here. But I can cancel it to, like, before the first projectile. In that case, it will just go on cooldown for 1 second and then be ready again. There's no mana in this game. Or I can cancel it after the first or the second shot as well, which will put it on full cooldown. Wait, I'm not a support. I can't heal him. What am I doing? But it can still be useful to do that because A, it allows you to move again, because the spell reduces your movement, or usually it completely disables your movement, but I have a Battlerite chosen, which will make it only, god damn it, oh, we got the warp, good, which will allow me to move slowly, but as soon as I cancel it, I'm back at full speed. So oh, no, don't get hit. We might be able to win this. So we should talk about Battlerites, but let's talk about this hero really quickly. So yeah, it's a damage dealer. Your main damage comes from this right click attack, this one, and then you have this pizza spell. I'm not sure what it's actually called. It's called Flame Strike. I always call it pizza because it looks like a pizza. And let's dodge that invisible guy. Okay, he's still around. Damn it. You can see invisible people when they're close to you. They're shown with the little eye symbol in different colors, which is a good way of handling invisibility heroes, I think. Let's use ulti. Didn't kill her. Well, there we go. And yeah, he's quite fun to play. He deals a lot of damage, but you have to be careful to not get mispositioned because he can be killed pretty easily. He has no shields. He has basically 2 escapes, which is good, but still, he can be caught pretty easily. And that if he gets caught, he's pretty screwed. So yeah, it's a squishy. Okay, let's talk about Battlerites. You can see that we all choose some Battlerites up here. You can choose up to 5. And there's another limitation I will show you in the main menu if we're back. And they change abilities around. So for example, I have a Battlerite that allows me to slowly move while I'm using my right click ability, which is that thing he just used. Did I? No, cancel. I didn't stun him, so I canceled the right click there because I was pretty sure it will not hit. So allowing being able to move while using that spell is really good. I should have used that stun earlier because that would have been a great stun lock. Then this hero has another nice thing which is called Ignite. So some abilities of mine will trigger Ignite on the enemy, which is basically a slow damage over time effect. Well, not slow, but a small is the word I wanted to use. A small damage over time effect. So okay, no, oh well, yeah, no, not great because I got stunned. And I have some Battlerites that will increase the effect of my magma, which is quite nice. My Ignite, I mean, which is quite nice because Ignite is really useful in this game because of the max HP mechanic I explained earlier. Because it will trickle down the max HP. Like if the oh, come on, no, I'm not gonna hit him with that. But oh, nice. No, I'm gonna get him though. Okay, because yeah, if you deal 40 damage but they're ignited, the max HP will tick down a little bit further. So that's really nice. And as I said, so those Battlerites can affect things, and I have one Battlerite that increases my the Ignite, for example. Magma, it's called. Ignite deals 4 bonus damage when applied first, and also slows down the enemy, which is cool. So this one is the one, oh yeah, this one makes my right click deal AoE damage or splash damage. This one is the one where I can move. This one increases the range and and reduces the cooldown of the pizza spell. And the other one is increasing the cooldown of my charge or my dash ability, which is useful because it's actually my main escape, or well, kind of the secondary escape, but it's the one you want to use if you don't have to use the other one. It's a little bit less effective, so you want to use it when possible and try to save the other one. Let's just throw a blind pizza in there. That might be useful. Okay, that was... Oh, I actually did hit one of the hits, so that's good. Yeah, the right click is obviously the main damage source, and that was stupid. I should use my XQ against Crow. Crow is the invisible melee assassin, because it's super effective. God damn it, what are you doing? Okay, how do we do that? We dash away, then we throw down the stun. Hit her in the face 2 times. God damn it. I could ult, but I don't think I want to. Oh, what? My space. Ah! God damn it, what am I doing? That was terrible. No, no, okay. Screw that up completely. Wanted to use my Shift Q, my XQ, which will petrify enemies around me. Petrifying means they can't, or is it actually incapacitating? No, I think it's petrifying, isn't it? It petrifies, yeah. So they're getting a shield, but they cannot move as long as the shield is up. Or it breaks after 3 seconds or after it took 20 damage. And that's really good to take down out an enemy out of the fight because, well, they can't do anything. They can't move, they can't attack, they can't do anything. So it's really good to set up to either escape from them or just take them out and focus on someone else, or set up skill shots like the right click. So if you petrify them, it's really easy to hit the right click afterwards, for example. So that's very effective. My left click is actually pretty strong. It is 15 damage, has a long range, and resets Ignite, which is probably the most useful thing about it. That was a great, what's this spell called? Firestorm. That was really effective. I'm kind of proud of that. There's a nice, that was stupid. There's a nice combo I can do. Not sure if let's see if I can actually pull it off. It's quite fun. I can dash someone into, no, not that way. I can dash someone with the Molten Fist into the pizza, which is quite fun if you pull it off. So we won, that's great, cool. Let's talk about Battlerites a little bit more in depth in the main menu. So as you can see, there's a stat screen and stuff like that. I don't think the stats are very representative. Ooh, what the hell? Interesting bug, didn't have that before. Invisible Ashkar, I guess. Okay, there he is. So let's talk about Battlerites. So every hero has, I think, around the same amount of Battlerites. Ashka has 16, as you can see, and you can choose 5. However, there's another restriction. You can only choose 2 per skill. So every Battlerite is, or not every, but most Battlerites are bound to a skill. So all of those will improve my Firestorm, and I can only choose 2 of them at the same time. While those 3 increase my space ability, and I again can only choose 2, and the same goes for the others. It's not always a 3 per skill. Like characters have different amounts of Battlerites per skill. Usually you have one that improves your ultimate, which I don't find that useful because, yeah, if you use your ultimate, it's good, but you don't use it that often. And for a lot of heroes, using your ultimate is actually not worth it because the risk is too high, and it's better, and your energy is better spent by using X abilities or your special R ability. So improving the ultimate doesn't feel that useful to me. This character, Ashka, has actually 2 general Battlerites, so they don't belong to a skill. One of Inspiration, which will increase the energy gain, and the other one, Magma, we just talked about. So the Battleright system allows you to customize your hero a little bit, but not too crazy. Like a few Battlerites are, well, they change the way you play. For example, Blossom has one that lets you jump twice. Like after you jump, you can jump again. That changes how you play a little bit, and other things as well. So you can fine-tune your hero a little bit, but most of the Battlerites are fairly subtle. But they make a difference. Like choosing Battlerites is definitely important, but it's not changing the whole hero around. So you cannot just become super tanky or while usually you're a damage dealer or something along those lines. That's not going to happen in this game, and I think that's important because it's important to know what you're up against in this game. So if there would be too many crazy Battlerites that would completely change the hero, that would not be a great way to play, I think. So as you can see, you can save up to 3 Battlerite loadouts, and then there's a default loadout. I hate that there aren't more. I don't know why. In general, the UI is fucking terrible. I'm sorry for the harsh words, but it is. Like the in-game, like there's an in-game way of changing Battlerites, which is okay. I'm going to show you that in a moment, but the one here is terrible. So you can't browse all Battlerites here, which is, they should be on one page, which is bad enough, but it gets worse if you create a new loadout, because now you have 5 slots, and now you have to click through this, choose one, and now you're back here, have to click it again, choose another one, go back here. This is obnoxious. This is way too many clicks, not enough overview. This is terrible. I don't know. This is really, really bad. UI design, should delete it. There we go. You can rename them, which is good, but let me just demonstrate really quickly how you do Battlerites well, or Battlerite customization well, because the game actually has that if you choose your Battlerites in-game, which you can do before the match starts. So if you go into the bonus mode, select Battlerites, you can get to this menu before a match starts, and here you have an overview of all the Battlerites categorized with tooltips, which tells you what to do, what they do. You can choose them. It tells you how many selected. You can select more than you can, more than 5, in which case it will not allow you to accept the selection, but you can choose them if you want to. And this is just a way better way of doing it. Like the menu UI is just terrible. I don't know why that is. So let's jump out of this again. I'm a little, what I would like to see would be the ability to change your loadout during a match, like between rounds. Like you play best of 5, so matches can go up to 5 rounds, and whatever you choose before the first round, you will be stuck for with the rest of the match. And I would like to see that change to being able to switch out loadouts in between rounds. I'm not sure, there might be a reason to not do that, to not confuse enemies too much, but I don't know. I would prefer that way. There might be a few good reasons to not do it, but I just feel being stuck with the loader you choose at the beginning of the match, especially if you're not super familiar with the enemy, like with the game yet, and you can't really identify what you should choose in this certain matchup. And while you play the first few rounds, you figure it out, but then you're stuck with whatever you chose before the first round. It's a little annoying, to say the least. So yeah, there was a earlier, a few months ago, as I said, this was an early access. Before a few weeks ago, and there was a different system in place where you would choose one Battlerite every round. So you got more Battlerites the longer the match took, which was not perfect either, but it at least allowed you to adjust a little bit to the enemy team while you played. So I kind of like that. So yeah, let's talk game modes and then business model, shall we? So there is a casual queue, there is a ranked queue, which is called League. Then there's a battlegrounds and private matches. Obviously, that's not really a queue. That's just custom matches for tournaments or scrims or just playing with friends or whatever. So the casual queue, there are actually 3 queues basically. You can play 2v2. Well, no, it's really 2 queues, I think. I'm not sure if they match teams with solo players in the casual queue, but they definitely don't in the ranked queue. So here we have 2v2 and 3v3, and you can choose both or just one. And yeah, as I said, I'm not sure how it is in casual, but in ranked you can't be matched with against a team when you are solo queuing. I think that's not the case in solo, because you can actually queue up for 3v3 while you're only pre-made 2, so you will get a third random. So I'm not sure, they might only queue 2 and 1s against 2 and 1 teams, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Then there's a rank mode where you have to, again, if you're solo queuing, can choose between 2v2 and 3v3 at the same time. But if you're actually playing with a pre-made team, you will be stuck to only that team size. So you cannot play ranked 3v3 if you only have one friend playing with you, which makes sense in ranked because you don't want that random mix of teams in a ranked environment. So that's good. I think the game has a little bit too many queues, especially because there's also battlegrounds. But right now the game has a very, very healthy population. So there are usually over 20,000 concurrent players during the day. So that's pretty good. So the game can right now afford having that many queues. I'm not sure how that gets later. Like that might become a problem later when the population shrinks a little bit. So I'm a little scared of that. I think they should tone it down a little bit and try to focus on less queues to keep the game or keep the matchmaking going. So yeah, if you play ranked, you actually gain rankings. Like you have leagues, different leagues. I'm in silver too, so I'm pretty terrible. Like silver is the second lowest. There's bronze, silver, gold. Platinum, Diamond, Grand Champion, I think, or something along those lines, or first Champion and then Grand Champion. I'm not quite sure about that, but the multiple leagues I'm pretty low, as you can see. This is my solo queue rating, though. You get different ratings if you play with your teammates, and we can actually look that up here. I have different teams with friends of mine, and they all get their own ratings. As you can see, I'm in Silver 4 with this team, which is Der Name ist Programm, and I'm also Silver 4 in this team, which is Die Gübbos, but I'm Silver 5 in Tyrant Losers. So I get separate rankings for solo queue and all teams, and that's good, I think. Has downsides as well, though, especially because you don't have rating based on champion, which is a little annoying because if you're really good with one, like basically it discourages you from playing more than only a few champions in rank, because if you play a few champions ranked or if you play one hero really good and you get him really high in solo queue, and then you want to play another hero you're not as comfortable with, well, if you play ranked, you probably get stomped. If you play casual, casual is not that, like, it's good to trying out a hero, but at a certain point you have to jump into rank with it to learn how to play it for real. So yeah, I don't know, I don't really like the fact that you're not rated per hero. Yeah. Also, there are placement matches whenever you start, like the first few matches in solo queue or whenever you start a new team will be placement matches, and the higher you score there, or the better the better you perform. Well, I should clarify in a moment, but basically, if you win more, you get placed in a higher league, and that you can get placed. I just saw that on stream a few minutes ago. You can get placed in the Champion League if you play your placement matches really, really well, which is interesting. But it's a wide range. I think it's a little too wide. There are a lot of people complaining in Platinum of new players just getting placed in Platinum because they got a few lucky matches in. I think the range is a little high. I'm not, in general, not a fan of a placement match system in general, but I don't want to make this into an in-depth discussion about matchmaking. So let's just keep it at that. Yeah. Right, placement matches. Anything else about this? Not really. There is a season going on. Nobody knows how long it will last. Nobody knows if it will reset after that. We're in pre-season still, even though the game is fully released. We're in pre-season for some reason. But, well, whatever. Okay, so much about matchmaking. Let's talk about business model. So the game has two ways of progression. One is unlocking heroes. So we have a collection of champions here. In general, this UI is a mess, by the way. I'm not going to go into detail, but the UI is super unintuitive. You don't find what you're looking for. It takes way too many clicks for everything. It's a mess. I don't know why. Anyway, so this is my hero collection, and yeah, like this UI. Okay, let's talk a little bit about UI, shall we? This UI alone is confusing already. So you have this thumb up icon. And then some of them are blue and some of them are gray. And you're not quite sure what this means. So my first assumption was, okay, heroes with green thumb are in a free rotation, and heroes who are blue are the ones that I own, but I will also be capable of playing serious. That's not the case. You don't actually see the rotation. You can't determine in this screen if you have a hero available because you bought him or because he is in the rotation. Because if we go back to here and go to the choose hero screen, now you can see. No, well, still, actually, you don't know which hero are available because of rotation and which are not, because the green thumb just means, actually, no, never mind, I take that back. In this screen, you can see it. The little skull down here tells me, okay, those are in the free rotation, and the other ones I have unlocked are the ones I bought. And the green thumb means it's a beginner-friendly hero. So this is not explained at all anywhere, and as I said, it's not visible in this screen, this one, way too many clicks. So yeah, I don't know, this UI is terrible. Anyway, business model. Sorry for the rant, but I had to get that out of the way, or I will come back to it again and again. So, business model. You have to unlock heroes. You do so by using gold coins. You gain gold coins by playing, and you gain around 200 gold coins per day for daily matches and log-in bonus. So, when you want to unlock a hero, you can buy them for a few thousand coins. I think it varies between 2,000 and 8,000, something along those lines. Or you can buy them for gems. Gems are the premium currency, which you have to pay buy with real money. And then there are shards, which are used for skins, which is the second way of making money in this game. Well, for the developer anyway. So characters have skins. So let's go to Bako, for example. He has different outfits. This UI is horrible as well, but I'm not going to go into detail now, I promise. So you can choose different skins. So you can see here, most of the skins have multiple recolors. Some of the recolors actually are entirely different skins, which is interesting. As you can see here, multiple loadouts, customs, outfits. That's the word I was looking for. There's a special prehistoric season going on right now, which brought in some like caveman skins and stuff like that, and dinosaurs and stuff like that. So that's quite fun. Then you have a lot of different weapons to choose from. Like as you can see here, you can change them. What he actually wears. That's a big spider shield. Interesting. And things like that. Sometimes the skins, as I said, completely change how the hero looks. For example, is it here? Yeah, this one, like this is just a recolor, and they look completely different. Like this one looks way cooler with the glowing thingies, and he's things like magma coming out of his mouth, and this one looks completely different. I don't know why those are the same skin or skin category. Maybe it's just. Is it just categories? Maybe it's categories. Maybe I always looked at this wrong. Maybe this is common and this is epic and this is legendary. Right, let's take a look at Bako again. Outfits. Might be the case. For weapons, there are multiple common ones, multiple equipable ones. So that's definitely not true here. Let's take a look at Blossom, maybe. Maybe that's how it is. Who knows? Outfits. Maybe they just pack in all the common skins in one category and all the epic skins in another one. That might be the case. Okay. So, and now the biggest downside for me in this game: to gain skins, you have to buy loot boxes. Blah. Don't want to make a super big rant about loot boxes now, but I just think this is a terrible system for multiple reasons. I could make like an hour video about this topic alone, I guess, but that's not really the point of this video. So I'm just gonna explain how it works and leave my note that I don't like it. Yeah, you buy loot boxes. You can buy the small ones, which right now are prehistoric chests. Usually those are silver. You can choose to buy them with gold, and they have one rare drop and 2 random drops. They can have legendary drops. They only drop cosmetics, by the way. There are special champion chests, which you gain 1 for free from a quest at the beginning, which will drop champions, but you usually don't get them. So those are super special cases. Champions have to be bought with gold or gems, while skins only come from loot boxes or can be crafted with shards, and you gain shards for duplicates because they are obviously there are duplicates in those chests. Why not? And then there are gold chests, which you can only buy for gems. They will drop an epic and 2 other drops. So it's always 3 drops in total, and the gold ones have 1 epic guaranteed. And you can buy them in bulk to gain them a little cheaper. And then there are, what's the ancient chest actually? I think that's special. Yeah, that's the special from this season, the special big one from this season, which can only bought with the gems and gives you some good skins, but only random, right? And then there's a special Destiny chest right now. Destiny is the new hero that just unlocked a week ago or so, and you can only buy it if you have the hero unlocked, which I don't, so I can't buy it. It will give you skins for that hero, obviously. So yeah, that's how it works. I'm not a big fan of it. It's let's just sum it up as it's one of the best implementations of the loot box system, or consumer friendly, because it's cosmetics only. You gain a decent amount of boxes by just playing the game. Like you gain 1 small box every time you level up your character, a character for every character. So for every champion you level them up, you gain boxes. You gain boxes for leveling up your account, and there are lots of achievements and stuff like that, and quests that will give you chests as well. So you can see here, reach account level 50 will give me a legendary chest, for example. So you gain a lot of chests. They only contain cosmetics. So it's one of the best implementations of the loot box system, but it's still a loot box system. So you have to deal with that. At least the game is free to play, so none of that bollocks here. But, well, I don't want to go more in depth. Let's just keep it on that, shall we? Overall, I really like the game. There's one really good, like, while the UI is terrible, there's one more thing I want to praise the UI for, or there's the game for more in general, is the options menu. The options menu is fantastic. I don't miss anything here. It's great. So you have like this weird option which increases, or basically it decreases your input delay by a tiny amount, but costs you some performance. So if the game runs fine, activate that. If not, you probably don't notice a difference, but it's a very small decrease in input delay. You can play with unlocked or locked camera. Usually people play unlocked, but the default is locked. Locked will always center your hero, while unlocked is not like a mobile camera which you drag around or something, but just the camera focuses on your mouse cursor, so you can drag it away a little bit from your hero, but you cannot completely disconnect it from it. And that's usually the way most people play. However, when I unlocked the camera, I had some screen tearing, which forced me to turn on VSync, which is unfortunate, but that solved the problem. By default, the chat is disabled, so if you don't want to see the chat, well, that's good. And then there's this option here. I'm not sure why this is in general and not in controls, but, well, because controls is only keybind. Still, it's a little weirdly placed here. This is just a mix of weird settings. Basically, as I said earlier, you can interrupt spells by pressing default C, or if you rebind it to something else, then by something else. And if you activate interrupt and move, you can cancel abilities by just moving, so by pressing W, A, S, or D, but only abilities that cannot be that prevent you from moving while casting. Obviously, if you have an ability that allows you to be casted while you move, well, that's not gonna work. You can change the HUD scaling, which is great. And there's a profanity filter and stuff like that, so that's good. Then you can rebind all the keys twice, so you have double bindings for all the keys, completely customizable. Mouse keys work as well, stuff like that, so that's really great. There is a modifier for the X abilities, which is default shift. You can change it. There are also direct spells or direct hotkeys for the X abilities. So the X abilities, as I said, change from hero to hero on which skill they are, and you can always activate them with shift, and the according skill button, but you can also always press just the direct X hotkeys. They're usually 1 and 2. I rebound them to 2 and 3, but I don't really use them. So this will always be the first accessibility, and that's the second one. So that's a really good option for people who prefer playing it that way. So that's really good. You can actually change camera lock with a button, but with the key binding as well, so that's really cool. The graphics menu is great as well. Actually, there's one thing missing, true full screen, not full true screen. What's that? True full screen is missing. You only have borderless window and well, regular window mode. You can choose which monitor it's on, resolution settings. You have a bunch of quality settings down here. There's no unlimited FPS, but almost. Like you can go to custom and put it to 300. That's basically unlimited, but there's no full unlimited. You can bind it to your screen refresh, which I usually do, especially for recording. And then you have a bunch of graphic settings here. You can turn off the audience if you're annoyed by that, and shadows. Would be nice to have a little bit more details in the options, like different qualities for the shadows and stuff like that. But well, still a pretty good menu here, I think. Then you have tons of different separate sound sliders. Can turn off the music, can switch it to mono sound if you want that. And there's a sound and background button as well, which basically, if you turn this off and the game loses focus because you tap out, the music will stop. So that's a really cool option to have as well. Then this is really important, and this is hidden somewhere down here in the options menu. Default is this. Don't do that. Choose all the locations you want to queue with, so all locations with a decent ping, because this will increase your queue time by a lot. So this should be more prominent somewhere. This is hidden down here. Oh, there's another important hidden feature in this UI, which I will show you in a moment. So yeah, you can choose which regions to queue, and this is pretty excessive, so this is pretty cool as well, but the default is pretty terrible because it creates pretty long queue times. Yeah, here you can link your Twitch account and change your email and stuff like that. So there's two more things I want to show. One hidden button. If you go in ranked mode, you can go up here, settings, and enable strict matchmaking, which will increase matchmaking times a little bit, but make sure you, well, have hopefully more even matches, which is a good option if your queue times are low. And then even more important, down here behind this more button, there's a mysterious odium. And this is a really easy and comfortable way of sharing replays. It's really, really good. So you can post a replay, see all your recent matches. As you saw, I lost a lot of them. Choose any of them and start begin editing. And now you gain to a simple video editor, which allows you to cut the video. Like you can say, oh, we want to have this part of the thing. You can turn on and off HUD. You can change the game speed up or make a slow down, stuff like that. And then you can publish it and give it a title and description, and then publish the video, and then it will show up here, and you can follow other people and look at their things, or you can share them on Reddit or whatever. And this is an amazing feature, and it's for some reason hidden down here behind this mysterious more button. I don't know why this is not more prominent. This should be super accessible. Like right after a match, there should be a button, make a replay of this match. Also, there should be the ability to add friends from the scoreboard, which is not possible either. Like, as I said, the UI is a mess. Let's not talk more about that. They hopefully fix that at some point. Overall, I really enjoy playing this game. I'm really, really bad at it, but it's a lot of fun for me. It's really cool. The business model is acceptable. Like for me, this business model means I will not spend money on it, but I will not be, my fun will not be diminished a lot by it. So it's not going to stop me from playing, but I'm not happy with it. But hey, yeah, there's not much more to say. It's a really fast-paced, skill-shot-based team game. Matches are fairly short, like every round takes 2 minutes, and then there's a death vortex coming in, like a sudden death mode. So rounds take up to 3 minutes, so that's a maximum of 50 minutes per match. That's pretty good. Usually they're shorter. So this is really good, and the heroes are pretty interesting as well. I like them a lot. They're most of them are really fun to play. Yeah, it's Battlerite. Link is in the description below. If you enjoy it, if you think you will enjoy it, check it out. Obviously, it's free to play and a lot of fun, in my opinion. So thanks a lot for watching. Have fun and see you next time.